Do you like Gabber? Yeah? No? Not really? Personally, I like all sounds, music or not, but that should not matter today, because if you think Gabber sounds good, we're gonna make it sound bad, and if you think it sounds bad, we're gonna make it sound even worse, so by the end of this video, hopefully our neurons that hold musical information will start leaving our bodies. But what is Gabber, or Gabber, or whatever you want to call it? That's a great question, so allow us to explore a tiny bit of history. Don't worry, I'll make this quick and painless. Gabber originated from the land of windmills, tulips, and bicycles, the Netherlands. Gabber emerged from the late 1980s.
Hey, the people are leaving! The people are getting bored!
Oh wait, no, please don't leave. Late 1980s, European rave, hard, techno, Rotterdam, boom, Gabber. Audio equipment and effects weren't as accessible as they are today, so the sounds were mostly made by physical hardware featuring a really specific drum machine. Gabber was dark, hard, and fast. Moving to the early to late 1990s, Gabber became quote-unquote mainstream in the Netherlands, and massive rave events emerged, such as OG Thunderdome. Gabber became a whole subculture of the Dutch youth, where people buzz their heads, wear colorful tracksuits and Air Maxes, dance in a Hacken style, and consume a... After that, like all things, people's perception on Gabber started to change, the music and its community started to leave the mainstream, heading underground. But that is not the end of the story, because in the 2000s, Gabber's route expanded across the borders of the Netherlands, and the audiences in countries like Italy, Germany, and Australia started to grow. Also, the Gabber sound became the godfather to many extremely popular hot dance genres through evolution of technology and audience, while the original sound is still being preserved and played at raves. Whew, that was a mouthful. Finally, in its place of origin, Gabber is a slang derived from Yiddish, which means friend. So let's figure out how to make a friend together. Let's create something that sort of resembles a Gabber track to better understand it before completely obliterating the genre. For the melodic elements, a lot of it are either 2-bar synth loops or samples. Though every track is unique, a detuned supersaw would make frequent appearances along with the really funny Hoover sound. Sometimes. There really isn't a lot of layers in Gabber because too many sounds going on at the same time might take away from the rhythmic stuff, which brings us to the rhythmic elements. So let's rewind to look at this thing. This is the Roland TR-909. It produced one of the cleanest and clickiest kick drum sounds back then. Other drum machines may have more sonically colorful kicks, but within the context of super distortion, unlike other kick drums, a clean sinish wave from the 909 has the best shot to not turn into mush. When learning about Gabber, my stupid ass really thought I could buy a TR-909 with just $147, but it is just a digital VST, and I remember that my videos have no budget. So I watched every Gabber mixdown on YouTube that features the TR-909 within visible distance, and tried to recreate it in my DAW, I mean MS Paint and Splice vocals. Okay, now with all the background and research sorted out, it is time to make the fun stuff. Let's try to make it sound as bad as possible. Instead of breaking down Gabber into its fundamental components like usual, we instead will break down the themes and the feeling of Gabber and completely flip them around in the worst way possible. Starting with minimalism. As mentioned, Gabber is a minimalistic genre with not many tracks having more than 4 elements playing at once if you consider the whole drum machine as its own thing. Immediately, I think adding chords from a really weird scale in the form of a wide saw stack and a lot of movements will do the trick. I'm thinking maybe double harmonic major scale? Also, complex songs are never in 4/4, so we can use the Nick's most complex time signature, 5/4, for arranging the beats and the melody. I also put a recorded rendition of Bach Invention in C by yours truly, just out of earshot to make the sound as confusing, as intricate as possible. Next, let's destroy the rhythmic nature of Gabber. By rhythmic, I mean a lot of Gabber tracks heavily use 2-bar melodic and percussive loops due to the drum machine nature of the era. Instead of it becoming boring, the repetitiveness actually makes it a lot easier for people to dance to. To make Gabber absolutely undanceable, we can make the song's rhythm completely unpredictable by combining different time signatures of the same BPM. If we are making the kicks in 5/4, the invention in 4/4, the chords in 7/4, the downbeats will not line up after the first bar until the 140th bar. As complex as a 140 beat loop may be, we still want to make the individual rhythmic elements loop very frequently because we want to maximize ear fatigue. Finally, we still have the aggressive kick in the song, so let's remove that aggressiveness real quick. Instead of having an analog distorted kick, we can maybe make it into a color kick using a vocoder. First, we need to copy the chord stack and disable the track. Then we need to set the external route from the chord stack into the drum's bus vocoder, having the Korea set on external. Make sure that the chord stacks has a lot of harmonics, otherwise it will not react to the kick frequencies. And finally, we can slowly turn up the mix knob. Very cool. So let's do the playback. Wait, no, we have yet to master whatever this is. Usually, mastering is the step where we carefully control the dynamics and the peaks to increase the loudness of the song while preserving its musical impact. But I thought it would be hilarious if we did exactly the opposite. So let's put a compressor on the master and put it on the expand setting. Usually, compressors reduce the amplitude of the sounds. So this expand setting is either for really sweaty sound design usage or it is for trolling, which I'm definitely not doing right now. If you already know this stuff, awesome sauce, very cool. But if you don't, give me 60 seconds. Say we have a compression ratio of 1/3 and a compression threshold is at 8 decibels. This means that for each decibel that is over the threshold, which is 8, it will be reduced by the ratio of 1/3. Let's practice. If a sound with the amplitude of 14 decibels is running through this very compressor, how loud will the output be? Let's find out. First, everything under the threshold will be untouched. So in this case, it will be 8. Now we can see that there are 6 decibels over the threshold, and we shall reduce this amount by the ratio. So 6 times 1/3 is 2. To complete the equation, we can add 8 to 2, which makes 10. This process makes the loud sounds quieter instead of the quiet sounds louder. People may think that the output sound is louder because we usually increase the gain of the output to make up for the reduced volume. So that knob is usually called makeup. Now when your friends say that compression makes a sound louder, you can say that they are not entirely correct and be a total jerk about it. Very cool. Enough tangents, we aren't here to learn music, we are here to destroy it. So with the compressor setting on expand, it allows our ratio to go into the positives, which is 2 in our case, as we want the maximum. This would absolutely ruin the dynamics of a sound as loud sounds become louder, which makes the quiet sounds sound even more quiet. And also we can do this process a few times. Well now, with not much left to do, let's listen to the final product. Alright, I think that is more than enough. We have attempted to make quite a few worst songs ever together, but in my opinion, I think this is the worst, because there is no clear melody for your ears to latch onto, and the 5/4 drum beats is really unsettling in this context. But what do you think? Do you have any other ideas? Should I have added more pip kicks? Anyways, I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. Here's a video where I tried to make a good microphone sound as terrible as possible with audio effects. And here's another one where I did something silly. You may like and subscribe if you feel like it, and hopefully, I'll see you next time. Take care, y'all.